This is a little something different than what I normally do. Hi, I'm OneMan. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe, and click the bell and all to be notified of my content, and let's dive right in. This is something I normally don't do, as my content generally critiques games specifically and endings to games specifically, to point out story problems and or game problems with something. When I don't do reviews, ending comparisons, I generally do podcasts and or streams. So what we're doing today is contrary to the norm of this channel, because this critique is a rankings video of what the most disappointing games of 2019 were for me, that I've played. So if you don't see your disappointing games on the list, don't feel bad or mad, just that chances are I either like what you don't, or just haven't played it. Now I'm consulting with the Video Games of 2019 wiki for video game releases, to make sure the games I select are accurate to the year, as I'm also used to playing certain games which could be many years off the actual English release date. So to be absolutely accurate for your viewing pleasure, I'm consulting the wiki, and also I'm going to rank my top games for 2019 in another video as a follow-up video to this one, in my massive video release block I generally have after a few months and or weeks of completion, depending on stream timing. If you feel like requesting something, I have a couple of rules. I won't do videos on games I'm not interested in playing. If you request anime reviews, you're going to have to settle for a slideshow of still images until I'm done buying my computer parts for my computer. I'm trying to massively upgrade my rig, and my fundraiser didn't produce jack, so I have to go the more conventional route. No one's to blame for that other than me, because I did not produce good enough content to warrant enough people to help, and I probably should have just gone and saved money to begin with. Let's begin with 4th place, Jump Force. Jump Force was a game I was hyped for beyond belief, growing up a massive shonen Jump fan. Yet it somehow delivered worse than J-Stars, and that is a major feat in of itself in the context of Shueisha-based games. Albeit not surprising for the money-grubbing Bandai Namco, so notorious that Bandai Namco became B-Shot in Mega Dimension V2. Said game reference is for a game I wholeheartedly recommend in V2. Jump Force has a multitude of problems, ranging from low replayability, low incentive for trophy hunting wise to continue playing, due to a lot of the trophies being online, major input delay issues, major power scaling issues such as my Maru's Kurohitsugi being more powerful than the lightning finisher that is used by Killua, you know the one, and a woefully lacking cast with less roster members than J-Stars. At least J-Stars had a wide variety of characters, both popular and obscure, and had far less input issues. I mean, it took forever to get Madara as DLC, and instead of getting 6-path Madara, which is what pretty much everybody else wanted, albeit I can't blame them for how broken he'd be, and I'm pretty sure the Narutards would be more upset about Madara being nerfed in 6 paths mode than Bleach fans would be about Chair-sama Aizen. Albeit arguably, even Edo Madara is being nerfed because there's no Meteor Summon, just like there's no curing for Sasuke. We got Edo Madara, and not even the good kind. Sure, there's Uchiha Reflection, perfect Susanoo with his sword sweep, but wouldn't it have been nice to get 2 pieces of eye candy instead of 1? Or have Sasuke's perfect Susanoo to summon Kirin? Anywho, point being is that the roster is rather small, and both input and power scaling are broken beyond repair in a meta sense rather than logical in-game kayfabe. Which some bits of logic can be thrown in there, like making certain characters faithful to their series could feasibly destroy game rendering and programming due to processor load. Rip console players even more than PC players. Edo matter alone could probably nuke one's computer, if done in his full. There's so much wasted potential, but understandable wasted potential. They clearly had a game plan for Jump Force, but for many, including myself, their game plan did not pan out to be productive, and I was an idiot for pre-ordering it. Which will honestly be a recurring theme throughout this video. Me being dumb enough to pre-order. Second place, Date Alive Real Reincarnation. I already mentioned the reasons why for this game, but here's a 2-word TLDR description for you to digest in case you didn't watch it. Broken plot. Yeah, for the sake of review and the retrospectives that are coming, for the sake of keeping this review short, I should say, I'm just going to leave it at that. Last but not least is a game I spent $90 on and wish I could refund, but can't because of when I pre-ordered it on Sony. I.e., I pre-ordered on the 4th of October, and the policy Sony has is that the time limit is around 7 to 14 days before the pre-order release date. In regards to October, it released on the 22nd, meaning that it had to be pre-ordered no earlier than the 8th through 15th, which sucks major ass because there's a slew of problems. A, there is no direction input. Go and ask CM_Polls and Chris Dinker as to the full details. B, there's so many texture and glitch issues to the point of parody. And is that Charlotte Flair sucking off the referee in the figure 8? Pretty sure that should be on Pornhub. Anywho, jokes aside, the glitches are so bad that it has reached the point of Poe's law of bad game programming. C, the promised pre-order content didn't even release until the 28th. Let's be honest here. Who really wanted the pre-order WWE 2K20 even in base game for anything other than The Fiend? Let's be honest, The Fiend should have been on the cover. It would be both practical, sensible, and metal as fucking hell. Let's slow down as to why this is a bad thing, however, of the pre-order. When promising DLC content for a pre-order, it is bad form to force your customer to wait for DLC expected to release on said release date. So anyone who pays attention to the WWE product knows The Fiend as a top commodity. So you can imagine my severe disappointment when the Bump in the Night, Who Do You Voodoo Bitch DLC wouldn't release for another 6 days, despite paying $90 to make it possible to get on day 1. So not only is the entire game a glitchy mess of a car wreck, for good or bad, but the one thing we were looking forward to, despite knowing it was going to be a disgusting mess, which we fans of WWE knew of the major behind-the-scenes meta behind its disaster, aka fuck you Ukes, already, so we were prepared for disappointment, was not even delivered on day fucking 1. That game was so big of a disappointment that I wish I had a physical copy of WWE 2K20 to throw at my screen in rage. If I ever buy WWE 2K games ever again, probably not, but who knows, it'll easily be hard copy because this game is disappointing and disgraceful. I'm not going to blame 2K, because 2K was placed in an unwinnable situation. That being said, I actually agree with Chris Dinker in the fact that we're tired of seeing test game versions from WWE 2K16 onwards. So, I'm split. Part of me wants to flip the bird at Ukes for not waiting until 2K20 was released to start working on their own game, which was why they left. Because when they left in August, WWE 2K had no choice but to rebuild their game from the ground up. How many of you have tried a AAA simulation game where they only had a month and a half to 2 months to rebuild an entire game codec because the one you were using were owned by a partner company that left you 1.5 to 2 months to make. Does anybody really think a good quality WWE game could be made in a month and a half? Particularly when their games suck anyways with an entire year's worth. I've never seen a game with only 1.5 to 2 months spent on the codec. Probably with zero time for debugging crews. So it is understandable for your game to suck. But nevertheless the most disappointing game of 2019. I'd say it is impossible to lower the bar any further, but knowing my luck, someone will make something dumber than WWE 2K20. If I've learned anything in life, it is that not only will people disappoint you in life, but they'll actively pursue disappointment out of sheer spite, then blame the fans for understandable gamer rage. However, that's enough of that gray morality, pseudo-intellectual nonsense. I'll end it with that. I hope you found my video entertaining and or informative. I'll see you in the next couple of videos, or whenever the follow-up video comes that describe my favorite games of the year. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.